Dave, wondering if you could tell us a little bit about why you chose this particular building and what your aspirations were to achieve from the building.
Yeah, the reason we came to Caxton House was it was a building of the right size. Essentially it was also a blank canvas, so our requirements were offices, laboratory space, workshop and warehousing space, difficult to find in the Cardiff environment. So this building offered the ability to start a layout completely fresh, as well as it had the right size and the great location.
The building naturally was in a considerable state of disrepair. At what point did you think I need to get a professional team in here to assist us with the refurbishment?
We took advice basically relating to the cost and the complexity of a refurbishment programme. But the closer we got to looking at the building, it was clear that this was a major undertaking, a major refurbishment of the building.
Initially we identified there was cosmetically work to be done to upgrade the building outline to make it not only easy on the eye but also to facilitate your use much better. The change of the entrance I think was a good idea, freeing up more accommodation space internally by losing the old staircase and creating a better frontage for the building so that as you pull up it's more identifiable where that front entrance was.
One of the major parts of the refurbishment was the introduction of the new main entranceway and stairs. To achieve better light into the reception area and the first floor breakout space, a full curtain walling system, as you see behind me, was introduced, and this alongside the other refurbishment works, a major overhaul of the external parts of the building on the cladding and the rendering helped set the building off and complete the final parts of the transformation.
We also, I know it was a point we discussed very early on, was the need to move the air conditioning plant and all of the condensers that were littered around the outside of the building to a more centralised location. And that then created a number of challenges in terms of getting services routes from the back of the building where they wouldn't be seen to the front, and as well as the low ceiling heights. And I know we mentioned a few times about looking at the industrial look, didn't we, to a clinical look that would tie in nicely with not only your brand and obviously as a high-tech company, that clean and crisp look.
Introducing a suspended ceiling just wasn't an option in this part of the building. With a low head height and slab to slab level, we needed to introduce exposed services, introducing them onto cable tray so that we could distribute the network of power, lighting and air conditioning systems from one part of the building to the next. In the more clinical and laboratory spaces of the building, we introduced traditional suspended ceilings as we had a higher ceiling height, and it also allowed us to get the main distribution from the rear of the building through to the front end of the building.
Part of the brief for the first floor in particular was to create a large open plan space, and initially that was quite cellular and very much a rabbit warren. Opening up those big structural openings that were created, I think has significantly improved both the light transfer through that open plan space and made the flow of the building that much better. Not only that, the holes then cut in the slab to facilitate the new stairs were also quite significant due to the construction of the building.
With the introduction of the new entranceway, the new staircase needed to be more central and closer to that point. It might seem like a lot of work to move the main staircase, however, to improve the flow of the office accommodation at first floor level, we needed to introduce some additional meeting rooms in situ of the old staircase. So we had to remove several bison planks and create a new metal staircase, fire protected, to ensure then that the building control were happy and the fire integrity of the escape route was maintained.
The result of the refurbishment is a much more open plan layout. I think the layout is much more logical. The overall workspace for the employees now is a much more collaborative workspace with great communal areas for all the staff to enjoy and when they come to work. So I think the result is a fabulous achievement.
So the final touches on the works. What was the furniture, which was necessary not only to finish things off, but to help demarcate those spaces and to make best use of that collaborative zones that we'd looked at in the open plan, a different way of working somewhat for some of your team, and how they embrace that now?
I think the staff are really happy with the furniture and the layout. We obviously have the collaborative workspaces. We've taken advantage of that by installing benches for short-term meetings, multimedia areas that they can sit and conduct meetings and discussions. So I think the investment we made in the new furniture suits the layout of the building perfectly.
Part of the brief was to introduce media spaces, collaborative spaces. What was the big driver behind that?
We have a number of those spaces within the building, both for sales and marketing as well as new product development teams. So if they're not able to have face-to-face meetings with clients, they can at least really take advantage of the collaborative workspace and the multimedia systems that we've installed into the building and have online meetings and presentations with clients and prospective clients.
The experience of the refurbishment, how has that been for you?
Yeah, the experience was very good working with Powell's. The guidance, the hand-holding, right from the beginning of the conceptualisation through to handing over the building. Powell's worked very openly, very closely with us and guided us step by step and delivered the project on time and within budget.